Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hi there, kids. How are you doing? Welcome back to today's class. I hope you had a look at the submission video and it made sense to you on how to go ahead and make all of your submissions. I hope you are going ahead and making all of the submissions for any of the classes that you are attending because it gives us a very, very good idea of what you're doing and what you're not doing. And it really, really helps us out in figuring out whether you're learning what you're meant to be learning, as well as you get picked as part of that top 10, which is very, very exciting too all of us. So let's start off by talking about the certificate program, and then we can move on to what this course is about, what we're going to do in today's class, and then move on to the class itself and talk about all of the materials that we need. So let's start off by talking about the certificate program. The certificate program basically is a very, very simple program wherein you go ahead and get a certificate for every course that you attend. And the basic, requirements for that basically is that you need to go ahead and attend all the classes of a particular course. For example, in sketching right now, we're going ahead and, learning how to do different forms of sketching. And we're going to today go ahead and do utilize what you've already learned and do something today. So it's basically about attending all of the classes of a particular course and then going ahead and making a submission for each of the classes that you've attended. Now, why is this important? That is, why is the certificate very important? Now, the certificate is extremely important in showing your friends, showing your colleagues, showing whoever you meet in the future, or school or parents, whoever you're going to show the certificate to, that you've gone ahead and learned a particular skill. It sort of identifies what you have gone ahead and learned. So whether it's a particular skill, whether it is a particular talent, whether it is a particular anything, right? So whatever you've gone ahead and learned, it's sort of like an identification to show people that, listen, see, I have learned this, and this is the certificate that proves that I've gone ahead and learned it. Now, this is very, very important because obviously you're learning whatever you're learning in this class, but you can also provide an identification that, yes, see, I have learned this, and this is a skill that I already know and have. So it's going to be very, very useful for you in the future. Now, talking about the certificate program, I also want to talk about the feedback program that we have, wherein if you get selected as part of that top 10, then you will also get personalized feedback from me, which is super exciting, isn't it? Like, all of us obviously want a feedback. Now, feedback basically can go two ways. One is that obviously I can go ahead and give you ways that you can go ahead and improve on. But on the other hand, I can also go ahead and give you sort of like a proof or identification that, listen, you are very, very good at something like this, that I've noticed that you're excellent at this particular thing. So what you can do is you can attend more classes and more courses on that, or probably you can work on it at home itself and probably pursue that particular skill that I'm talking about. For example, let's talk about pencil shading itself. If I feel someone few particular are very, very talented in pencil shading itself, then I can give you that proof that you are very good at this, and you can probably move on to doing more of it. So it's going to work in all possible ways. Now let's talk about the course itself. Now the course basically is all about pencil shading. Now though we're going ahead and doing only pencil shading, this concept can be used in anything. So it's basically like you've already learned in the past two classes. It's a bunch of techniques that teaches you how to go ahead and play with light and dark, different tones, right? So dark, medium, light. And you can go ahead and utilize that in any subject or any object, whatever you like, and it'll sort of give you an way to kind of create light and darkness in any object, automatically making it look realistic, right? So that is what we want to sort of achieve from all of the classes that we are working with. We want to bring things to life. That is the most important thing that we want to do. So this course is basically meant to teach you how to go ahead and do that. Now let's talk about what we're going to be doing today. In today's class, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going ahead and learning using the first technique that we learned, which is basically the concept of shading, the gradation that we learned, dark, medium, light. We're basically going to be using that to do fill in 3D objects and bring them to life. We're going to be doing four 3D objects today. We're going to be doing a sphere, B, a cube, three, a cone, and four, a cylinder. These are going to be the four that we're going to go ahead and do. I'm going to teach you how to draw them. I'm going to teach you how to mark out the shading bit of them. And then I'm going to finally teach you how to shade it itself. So let's get started with today's class by talking about all the materials that we need for today. All right, so let's get started. The first thing that you need, obviously, for any class is a sheet of paper. So you can go ahead and take any sketchbook, drawing book, A4 size sheet of paper, unruled sheet of paper, anything that you have lying around at home would do. If you have a drawing book like I do, that will also be great. So anything that you have at home would work wonderfully for you. The next thing that you will need for today's class is obviously going to be a pencil. Make sure to go ahead and take a dark pencil. I do not want you to go ahead and take a very, very light pencil, because it may not show up on your sheet of paper, and that is going to make your sheet of paper look sort of like dull, and it's not going to like show up very, very well. So just make sure to go ahead and take a nice dark pencil, so that it shows up really, really nicely. And that's it actually for today's class, because it's going to be using two materials, and then that's it. So now let's go ahead and talk about like how we're going to go ahead and do this. So this is the work that we're going to be creating today. I already have it with me. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going ahead and first drawing all of the four 3D objects. So like I said, first is sphere, then we have cube, then we have cone, and then we have cylinder. Now once we go ahead and draw each of these, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pick a source of light for each of these. Now a source of light could be anything. A source of light right now for me would probably be the sun. So you can see on this side of my face, I have my window right here. So this side of my face is illuminated because the sun is falling on my face. Then here I have like a medium tone, and here I have a darker tone because my sun is coming from this direction. So sun is a very good source of light. If it's evening, then we have our tube lights, we have our LED lights, all of that, lamps, whatever you have. The moon also sometimes, if it's a very, very big bright moon, then you also tend to have like light coming out, shining out of the moon. So that is also a source of light. So anything can be a source of light. So one direction or source of light we're going to identify, and that side is basically going to be the light side, like I explained with my face: light, medium, and dark. Then what we're going to do is, once we identify the source of light, we're going to go ahead and mark out the places of light, medium, dark onto our 3D object. Once we go ahead and mark them out, we're going to then go ahead and do the shading technique. So it's going to be a very, very easy sort of thing that we're going to be doing, because you've already learned the concept of shading. It's only speaking about the light, medium, dark, and how the placement of it works is very, very important and key. So make sure of that. So take a fresh sheet of paper, take your pencil, and let's get started. So right there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw my first 3D object, which is basically a spear. So make sure to draw this really, really easily. If you can't get a perfect spear, then you can go ahead and take a compass, or you can take a bowl or whatever you like to go ahead and draw the spear. No hard and fast rule that you have to do it perfectly as well. Take your time and do it neatly. All right, well done everybody. Everybody's on a spear. Now we're going to go ahead and do the next 3D object, which is going to be a cube. Now see how I'm doing the cube. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw a square. That's step one of drawing the cube. I'm just going to wait for everybody who is still doing it alongside with me, and then we can move ahead. All right, everybody's doing a good job. Well done, everybody. Good. All right, well done. Okay, so everybody's gone ahead and done their box. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add a bunch of lines to make it look like a cube. So we're going to go ahead and add a bunch of slanting lines and join that at the top. So we're going to add that. So just have a look at how I've done that there. So I've gone ahead and done one slanting line coming out like this and a second slanting line coming out like so. And then drawing a straight line on top. So again, I'm just going to wait for everybody to finish this up and then we can move on. Well done, everybody. Good job. Excellent. All right, everybody is done with that. Any of you who have made a mistake can go ahead and erase it out and correct it out. It's okay if you make a mistake. It can be a little confusing to go ahead and draw a cube. So take your time. Don't try to rush into it. It's completely all right if you need to take some time to go ahead and do this. Okay, well done. Everybody's done a good job. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join that line right there and I'm going to do another slanting line. So I'm just going to wait here for just a second, just in case someone has not finished this up and needs to take a little bit of time to go ahead and do it. So just, I'm going to explain this one more time, just in case someone has not got it. We're going to go ahead and draw a square. From the square on all of the three side points, we're going to go ahead and do three slanting lines and then join it. That's it. Very, very simple. Perfect. Well done, everybody. Let's move on to the next 3D object, which is your cone. So here I'm going to draw my cone, just a simple triangle shape on top with the curve at the bottom. And there we have my cone. Excellent job, everybody. Looking at everybody's work, it's looking really, really nice. Make sure you get the shape of the 3D object really, really nice and neat. If you're making any mistakes, please go ahead and correct it right now, because I don't want you to have any mistakes whatsoever. Take your time and, drawing these out. You do not have to rush into this, because I want it to be super, super neat and nice. Okay, well done everybody. And now we can go ahead and draw a cylinder. For a cylinder, I want you to first go ahead and draw two straight lines coming on top. Then I want you to draw an oval on top. And then we're just going to go ahead and do a curve at the bottom to finish up our cylinder. So you can see I'm going ahead and correcting any of the mistakes that I'm making. Anywhere if I feel like, no, it's not looking good, I've made a mistake here and there, obviously sitting down and correcting it out. I do not want you to be like, no, 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 I'm not going to correct it out, because obviously I want it to look really neat. Okay, well done. Everybody's gone ahead and done their 3D objects, all looking nice. Well done, everybody. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go and identify the source of light. Now, I'm just keeping it very simple for all of my objects. I do not want to make it overly complicated and change the light for each and every one. So I've just basically gone ahead and picked that the light is coming from the right hand top side. That's it. That's all I have gone ahead and done. That's what I've selected. So these arrows basically determine the source of light for each of these. All right, I can see everybody's marked that out. Now, let's again talk a little bit about the source of light. Now, when light is falling on something, what is going to happen is it's going to look brighter. So, for example, take the example of my face itself. If I'm the light is coming from this side, you can see that I have light all over here. Then I have my medium tone and then I have my dark tone. But you can also see that my face is not divided into different parts. It's done very smoothly and neatly. So the same thing is what we're going to do for this. Now, obviously, my face is an oval. This is a sphere. So very simple. So if light is coming from this direction, this portion of it is going to be light. The next portion of it is going to be medium, and the last portion of it is going to be dark. And in the same way, we're going to do it for different objects. So let's start by marking out the sphere in the same manner. You can go ahead and do this with me. Mark out in this manner. So you can see very simple. First the light tone will come in the first part that I mentioned, then the medium tone will come, and then the dark tone will come. Okay, everybody's marked it out. Now let's move on to the cube itself. Now when I'm looking at the cube, obviously the cube has different parts. It doesn't have just one part like how the sphere had. So what will happen is every part will have a different, sort of shade coming on. Now if the light is falling from here and this is the top of the cube, which is this part of the cube, what is going to happen is we're going to have a little bit of light, then we're going to have little bit of medium, and then we're going to have little bit of dark. So just try to understand how that works. And in the same manner on this side, if you're taking, if the light is coming from here, then light will be there here. This part will be medium and this part will be dark. So it's really simple, right? Not too hard to understand. And again, if light is coming here and this is the surface I have, then light is going to fall here, then medium, and then dark. So now I've explained the concept to you. Let's mark it out and understand. So I'm going to be doing it surface by surface. First, I'm going to be marking the top surface. So you can see light, medium, dark. Then the side surface, light, medium, dark. And then finally, the last front facing surface, which is light, medium, dark. If you look at it, it looks almost similar to how we have marked out our a sphere, but we have marked it out on it surface wise. When it comes to the cube, even though it looks the same, we marked it surface wise. So in this we have light, medium, dark, light, medium, dark, and then we have light, medium, dark. Very simple. Now for the cone, it's going to be a very similar thing. If we have a cone coming like this and light is falling here, the top part will be light, then we have medium, and then we have dark. Really simple, nothing hard at all. So you can see light, medium, and dark. Very simple. Now, what we're going to do for our cylinder is going to be very similar to what we did with our cube. We're going to divide it into two planes, which is going to be the top dhakkan part of it, and then we have the side part of it. So the top part of it, what we're going to do dark, medium, light, sorry, light, medium, dark, because the light is coming from here. And in this portion, it's going to be light, medium, dark. So let's mark that out. Light, medium, and dark. Well done. Now, one thing that before we move on, I want you to keep in mind is that any object or subject that you do tomorrow, I want you to go ahead and always first identify the light source and then identify the light, medium, dark portions. Now, if there are many planes, for example, if you take the cube and you take the cylinder, there are many different parts of the object and subject, then go ahead and divide it plane by plane. But if it's like a sphere or a cone, then go ahead and do it in one shot itself. But always mark it. If you don't mark it, what's going to happen is you're going to get a little confused at the beginning as to where you need to go ahead and do your shading. And if you are confused on where to go ahead and do your shading, you won't get your object or subject to look the way you want it to look. So always just sort of identify what you need to do and then go ahead and do it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually go ahead and start shading out the whole thing. Now, like we always start from the dark tone, then we move on to the medium, and then we move on to the light. And that's exactly what we're going to be going ahead and doing. So going from dark, medium, light, take your pencil and let's start with the sphere. So you can see I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil and I'm going to go ahead and start pressing down my pencil in the first go. Then I'm going to go ahead and do medium. So lift off my pencil a little bit and then I'm going to do light. And one thing that I want you to keep in mind is I'm going to go ahead and do this in sections. I'm not going to go ahead and do this in one shot. So you can see this is a small part of the cube I'm doing, sorry, sphere I'm doing. And then I'll move on to the next part of my sphere and do that right next to it. So you can see part by part, not doing anything, like in one shot, because it'll be uncomfortable for my hand to do. So you can see very, very simple. Dark, medium, light, dark, medium, light, and dark, medium, light. Now wherever we have gaps left, go ahead and fill it up. And since we have already marked each on every spot of it, if the empty gap is medium tone, go ahead and do medium tone. If the empty gap is dark tone, go ahead and do dark tone. So depending on what tone is marked in whichever spot, go ahead and do it. So you can see all of my dark tone was pretty much covered in the first go. Only my medium and light tone was left. So that's what I went ahead and did my medium and light tone. Now, if you feel anywhere there are few scratches or empty spots, just go over it a couple of times. It does not have to look perfect. So this is how it should end up looking. It's okay if you have any overlapping marks or it's looking a little dirty here and there. It does not have to be perfect. We're not trying to, make this perfect at this point of time. We're just trying to learn something new. Well done, everybody. I'm looking at everybody's sheet and I'm very, very happy with it. Just one thing to keep in mind, if you feel like, the place that you're going ahead and doing the shading is too fat and you're very uncomfortable with your hand doing the curves, then divide it into smaller, smaller parts. I've done it in 3 parts. You don't have to do it in 3 parts. You can do it in 4 parts, 5 parts, 6 parts. Whatever you feel is more comfortable, do it in those many parts. Well done. Okay, so now since everybody's finished with the spear, we can move on to the cube. For the cube, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go patch by patch. I'm starting off with that top part right there, and I'm going to go ahead and do first my dark tone. So pressing and doing my dark tone wherever I marked it. As I come to my medium tone, I'm lowering my pressure, and as I'm coming to my light tone, I'm lowering my pressure completely. So make sure you do it like that. Don't try to rush into it. Now again, the other side, same thing. Wherever I marked dark, I'm doing dark. Then I'm going to go ahead and do medium where it is medium. And then I'll do light where it is light. So do this slowly. Do not at all rush into this. So you can see I've done two sides. I'm going to wait for you before I move on to my third side. So this is how it should look. So you can see light is falling from there. Dark, medium, light, dark, medium, light. Make sure it's looking like this. Good job, everybody. Looking very nice. Okay, well done. So everybody's gone ahead and done their dark medium lights in this manner and it's looking great. So now let's move on to the last part. Again, same thing, dark medium light. Start with the dark part first. Divide it up into 2 parts if you need to at this point of time. You don't have to do it in one go. So you can see I'm just starting off with my dark part now and I'm going to go ahead and do it in 2 edges. Be as comfortable as you can while doing this. Don't try to rush into it while doing this. Take your time and slowly do this. And look at how beautiful that cube is looking. Doesn't it look like light is falling from one spot? Doesn't it? It does, right? Okay. Well done, guys. Excellent, excellent job. Very happy with how it's looking. All right, I'm looking at everybody's spears and cubes and it's looking amazing. So I'm very proud of you all. Very good job. Okay, so let's move on to our cone. I feel our cone is very self-explanatory and there's nothing hard at all. We've already marked the dark, medium, light. It's only about now getting the pressure right, right? So, and all of you have already got enough practice on it. So let's start with the cone. So dark at the bottom, then we have medium, and then we have light. So look at how easily I'm just going ahead and doing it literally till where I have marked. I have done dark. Then I'm just lowering like my pressure on my pencil and doing medium. And then finally, I'm just going to lower my pressure even more and do a really, really light tone. That's it. Excellent, guys. Looking so nice. Look at how easily I'm just going ahead and doing this. No effort in this whatsoever. So look at how realistic that cylinder is looking. Well done, everybody. Good job. Alright, so now since everybody's gone ahead and finished their cone, we can now go ahead and do our cylinder. Now cylinder, like I mentioned, how we did the cube, you want to go ahead and divide it into two parts. First, you want to go ahead and do the top part of it, and then you want to do the bottom part. And remember, in smaller places or larger places, smaller places you can do it in one shot, larger places always divide it into two. So let's do that. So smaller place, going ahead like this, dark, medium, light. And this side we're going to start with dark, medium, light. So dark at the bottom, medium, and then light. Very, very simple, very, very easy. The technique is you do not want to do anything different. You don't want to rush into it. You want to do it slowly and neatly. So you can see dark, nicely blending that dark out, taking my time to do it. I'm not rushing into it or doing it any different way. And there you go. So, so, so simple. So go ahead and finish this up. I'm just going to wait before I continue talking to you about this. Everybody's done such a wonderful job. Extremely happy with how everybody's done. Well done, everybody. All right, good job. So now everybody is basically gone ahead and done the shading of the four objects that we need for today's class. And I'm very, very happy. These are all 3D objects that you have learned. Sphere is a 3D object, cone is a 3D object, cube is a 3D object, and cylinder is a 3D object. Now, even though they are 3D objects, what brought it to life was basically how you went ahead and shaded it. So you can see the difference between the first time when we just went ahead and drew it and now the second time when we've gone ahead and shaded it. There's a vast difference on how it looks, right? So that's exactly the point of shading itself. We just want to go ahead and add life to anything that we are doing. So now let's take examples for what we have gone ahead and done. So for example, the spear that we have done could for example be a ball, right? So you've learned how to go ahead and already shade a ball if the light is coming from a certain direction, and if you change the direction, just remember to mark out in the same manner. Now what could be the cube? Cube could probably be a pair of dice. So you've gone ahead and learned how to do dice, or it could be like a building. You learned how to do a building. Let's talk about the cone. The cone could be sort of like a party hat. It could also be a pyramid. Those two make sense. Now let's talk about the cylinders. The cylinder could be any form of pipe. It could be a candle. It could also be, let's say, a can, right? So you've already gone ahead and learned 3D objects, and if you can apply this concept to any 3D object, you already know how to go ahead and shade it. So isn't that fun and exciting what you've gone ahead and learned, right? So let's talk about your submission for today. Now your submission for today is going to be to submit all four of these. So all of these very done very neatly. So the cylinder, the cube, the cone, and the sphere. So these four are going to be part of your submission. If in any place or in any case you feel like you've not done a good job and you feel like you need to go ahead and redo it at some point of time, that is completely okay. Go ahead and redo it if you need to, and take a picture of it and submit it. So that's what I want you to do. Now let's talk a little bit All right. So excellent job, everybody. I'm so glad on how each and every one of you did. You've done a very, very wonderful and neat job. Again, if you feel like in any spots you've gone ahead and made a mistake or two, don't worry about it at all. Go ahead and just redo it. You've already learned how to do it, and it's not hard at all to go ahead and do what you just did. So just go ahead and redo what you've already done and then take a picture and make your submission. Now, before we end today's class, a couple of things again. One is about the certificate program. Make sure to attend all of the classes that you have been, attending of any course. So if you're attending this course, make sure to attend all of the classes. It's very important, because if you have not done the first class, then today's class might have been a little hard for you to do, right? So each and every class of a course is connected, and we make it in that manner so you learn better. We don't want to put a lot of information in one class. We want to slowly break it up and give you little information as we go along. So that is very important, to go ahead and give you a little bit of information at a time. So make sure to attend all of your classes. Also make sure to go ahead and make your submissions. If you make your submissions, we'll get an idea of what you can learn, what you're not learning, and how we can improve upon our courses. So that's the second thing. Third thing that I want you to keep in mind is the feedback program that we have. Do a good job, make a submission, and if you get selected as part of the top 10, then I will be going ahead and selecting and giving you feedback to those top 10 students. Apart from that, just make sure you're doing a good job and having fun doing what you're doing. All right, so let's go ahead and watch the submission video, just in case you do not know what to do. In the next class, before I show you the submission video, we're actually going to be going ahead and doing a still life object. Now, till now we've just been doing 3D objects and techniques and all of that, but in the next class we're actually going to be shading a still life object, and I hope you're super excited, because I am very excited about that class. We're finally getting down to actually doing objects and subjects, which is so exciting for me to go ahead and teach you all. So make sure to attend that class as well, and all of the upcoming classes. Bye bye now, and have a look at the submission video, just in case if you're making mistakes in going ahead and doing a submission. Bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right